All right, ladies and gents, welcome. 700 elo here, and I'm really curious, will we see this red player test out the new Bohemian unique unit? This is kind of my week. Well, it won't be that week anymore if this ever hits YouTube, but this week has been my Bohemian focus. Just talking about the strengths of Bohemians, showing you different scenarios with Bohemians. And the two videos I've shown you guys so far on YouTube have been focused on what Bohemians can do on Arena. So with the cheaper monasteries, they usually can make a lot of monks. With the crazy unique unit, they can make a lot of wagons. And that specifically is what I believe would be very hard to stop at 700 elo. And here we've got blue, and blue is just playing as the Tatars, but it is 735 elo for blue, and it's 680 elo for red. So there's actually a bit of an elo difference there. That's like a 3-win difference. So I think maybe blue will be slightly better in some ways. As I say that, blue is already behind by 2 villagers. Don't ask me how that happens, but typical low elo stuff. T90, you destroy the game with your Bohemian video? Well, we'll see. We'll see. There weren't a lot of people who complained about it yet. But I will be curious to see if it becomes more and more common. Like I said in the video, I think that what's really hard to stop the wagons is any civ that does not have good monks to convert them. And Mangonels just simply are not a solid counter. The person who beat ACCM in the YouTube video messaged me and we were talking, and he said, make sure your viewers know. Now, granted, I've told you guys this, but people were like, yeah, but the tech tree said, people don't believe me. He said, make sure your viewers know that Mangonels or Mangonels are definitely not a solid counter to the unit, and the tech tree is lying. So that's what RMQ had said anyways. But anyways, we have time to chill. It looks like blue is really intent on not paying attention to the geese over here. Villagers sharing geese. These geese, imagine being this goose. You're trapped in by humans, and you're standing on top of your fallen friend. That's so sad. You can't do anything about it. I don't know why. Oh, another one goes down. Oh, geez, it's so dramatic. So sad. But yeah, Arena is a Stonewall map. So the best strategy you can shoot towards typically is going to be Fast Castle. 700 elo, I think we're going to see things like a Fast Castle build, probably bringing in the boars eventually. But for now, I noticed that they don't seem to be too particular about what's going on underneath the TC. They're creating vills. They're sending them to resources, but for blue in particular, there's been a lot of movement and a lot of walking. You see this? Like the villagers can't decide on where to go. Yeah, the geese animation is actually really good. Let's zoom in. Watch. Oh, God. I feel like there needs to be a sound effect for that. Oh, they flap their wings and try and fly away, and then they just flop to the side. It was so dramatic. Red is attacking blue's gate, which is not really the best strategy, and blue doesn't like that, and now blue is attacking red's scout. Okay, red's like, okay, well, that was a mistake, and now red's going to send the scout home. Now, that's interesting. I know it's just a small thing, but that tells me that red is kind of an aggressive player. You ever just have your walls attacked by someone and have them run away, and it kind of freaks you out a little bit because you hear that burr, burr, you hear the attack noise? That would tell me that maybe at 700 elo, if red truly thought that was a good idea, red either wanted to freak out the opponent or just wanted to be annoying, you know? Blue almost entered the enemy lair. That would have been fun. But okay. Let's see if red ends up getting a boar. Red's just going to go scout again. I would laugh if he went right back for the gate. I think what will happen here for blue is that blue's going to take a boar after all the geese are gone. Blue will only realize that in a moment. And, oh, wow. Interesting. Okay, so you know what, guys? This is actually not a bad thing. We're going to see a mill on 4 deer, and I think the boar is going to be brought close to it as well. I know that you tend to see players bring it into the TC, and that's something I think you should eventually want to work towards. But what's tricky is I feel like a lot of players who are learning are discouraged against building additional mills, which I think is a mistake. So this is fine for this. Yeah, and this is fine for the berries. That's fine. And this is why it's important to not chop straggler trees and to instead have a lot of villagers on wood so you can do things like this. Salam. Red is attacking the gate again. And blue is now going to try and bring in this boar. And blue's like, what is this player? And blue's like, why is he doing this? This makes no sense. Now I have more HP. And here blue comes back, and blue is now going to go attack the scout. Was there a game earlier today where red somehow got 1,375 hits and took out the enemy gate, or what? That's twice now. Now, we cannot see a third time without red losing that scout, so red's just going to wander on home again. Well, red, I salute you for making early game arena a little bit more interesting. Props to you there. And we're going to see a whole party go over here to get this boar, which is kind of hiding behind the gate right now. Now, blue's distracted. Blue might not remember to click the scout back. Let's see. 700 elo. Okay, blue forgot. And now, the boar villagers are coming to the TC, I believe, so they can garrison, so they can win this scout war. And blue, blue, no! Red, no! Everyone, no! Oh my god, are you kidding me? Only in low elo legends, somehow both scouts go down, the boar runs back. What in God's name just happened? Maybe that's Red's strategy. Maybe he does that. Maybe Red will always try and get the enemy scout into his base. That was ridiculous. Okay, so now here comes Red. Says, well, we tried it before. Might as well bring it back to the TC. The TC already put in a work order for this boar, so... There we go. We're going to take the boar. Red's on the way to Feudal Age much faster than blue is, but blue has a lot more villagers. So red was trying to be so tricky that red forgot to make villagers out of the town center consistently. Villagers on stone? That's kind of weird. Also, I get wanting to make houses behind your walls, but I'm not sure about making houses behind the walls that are not really connected to the outside world. That might not be something blue realizes. Anyways, blue wants to go Feudal Age, but has a villager and then Feudal Age queued. So that was a significant chunk of idle time there for blue. And this is what I mean. Blue should just make a mill here, just like red did. It's a lot more efficient. Anyways, I think red's approach is not necessarily a straight fast castle build, and neither is blue's. But they have the general idea. And now we see... This player, man. Now we see a middle barracks for red. Is red gonna, like, attack the gate again with spearmen or militia or something? What in the world? Okay. Now, blue doesn't have a scout. He doesn't have any military to fight back whatever attacks the gate, but we do have blue making a barracks. Okay, red's still refusing, or blue's still refusing to want to make a mill here and want to share. So, doesn't have enough villagers there. We now have a mill. That's fine. Again, you could have 3 villagers on each little deer here and then just make a mill and everything would be super efficient. Red's going to open up with an archer range. Red does have 1 villager on gold and now has villagers on stone. And Bohemians get the mining upgrades for free, guys. Also, red got the farm and the wood upgrade. So the eco is going to be fairly solid for red. Now, typically, you go fast castle because it's really hard to break through walls in Feudal Age and Castle Age. So, if red were to make a lot of archers, let's say, and starts attacking the wall, at this elo, it might make people panic. Oh my god, blue's making militia! Honestly, they should delete the walls at this point. Both players are going out for full map control, apparently. Both players do not realize just how strong the stone walls are for the enemy, and they say, let's get map control. This is fun. Okay. Alright. This guy runs through the snow awfully quick. He forgot his snowshoes, so he moved on out of there. Of course, they both do not have scouting intel. And going archers is going to just be so strong here. Blue's militia, really not the best unit choice. Only 2 of them, though, so it's just for scouting. And now look at this. They find the villager. Which is freaking hilarious. 15 minutes in, we have Feudal Age engagements on Arena. Now we have an archer from red. You can tell red's microing this. Red misclicked a little bit. So red's got a micro there, and then this villager also is struggling. There is another archer in the queue, but red needs houses right now. And is the militia about to get 2 kills? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Now, don't tell me the militia's going to walk through the gate like the scout did earlier. No way! This is the second time the blue has been inside red's base just because red wants to attack all the time. Red, just boom, and you don't have to worry about the enemy coming into your base. Trust me. Okay, the militia micros away. Now the other militia's over here. He's looking for his buddy. And these stone miners have never seen a blue militia before. They're like, what is this? Ooh, what is this atrocity? And he's trying to escape. He heard his buddy calling out for him. So he went to the corner. Can't seem to find him. This guy didn't like that guy anyways, so he's just running away. But the militia lives to tell the tale. Now, because of all that, their economies have really fallen apart. If you look at their eco balance, I guess red's better off in terms of food, but... Whoa, holy houses up against the stone walls, blue. We also have a market and a blacksmith outside this layer of stone wall, and now we have double stable. Interesting. Now the archers that wanted to be offensive in the middle now have to go home because of that militia. So I think the militia benefited from this. Okay, there they go. Like, the militia got an archer kill and a whole lot of map control and harassed red. So I think it's worth it. Anyways, militia's going to go down here. Props to him, though. That was pretty strong. And now blue is worried about the archer ranges, and blue's going to tower. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. It's so cute. Because, listen, the logic is, this guy's making freaking archers, and I don't want them anywhere near my base. So let's make a tower next to the gate. And let's make a tower right in front of his buildings to stop him from moving forward. The logic is fairly sound. Again, the main issue is just the inexperience of not realizing how strong the stone walls are. So they're kind of getting worried about these situations like they wouldn't have stone walls. Now, red doesn't see that. You can't make this crap up. Red doesn't see that. Red now just happens to find it. I don't know how they always find each other. It's like they're thinking in the same wavelength. And now blue's villager could go down. Now, I hope that blue doesn't lead the archer. Oh, wait. There's the other militia. Red's going to kill that. But the tower, guys. Okay, red says, let's not advance any further here. Let's just protect this tower. Stop her from going up. Good logic. And red is better off in terms of resources to go castle age. That's for sure. Red also has a lot of stones. So imagine a castle drop in the next stage. Blue's getting bloodlines for a scout that has already died to the enemy town center. Bloodlines is fairly expensive, guys. 150 food, 100 gold. It just takes you further away from Castle Age. If blue is going to make more scouts, I'm okay with it. If you want to take map control. I also like how blue is starting to farm now for consistent food eco. Blue will never get housed in this game. Blue is all over the houses. It's interesting how they're always up against the walls, too. But yeah, if you're not gonna... Like, my advice is if you're not gonna use military in Feudal Age, just wait till Castle Age to make it. And that's the same with upgrades. That's my general advice. It does depend, of course. Okay, red is the opposite. Red needs to remember to build houses. Red just got pop capped. So red is slowly making houses back here. Red's army is pretty strong, though. They do have the archers do have fletching, so you would need quite a few scouts to be able to engage against this. And here comes blue with 2 scouts. Now, the resources are deceiving because blue has a much stronger economy. And even though blue doesn't have as much food and as much stone, I think blue's going to bring in more long-term. So actually, blue's not in a bad spot here. I don't think the tower foundation was deleted, so I think all those resources were lost. Blue probably forgot about that. Probably gave up on that. Okay, but red's going to be the first to go Castle Age because red will click up right after this Ville. And red has enough stone for a castle. If blue doesn't make more than just 2 scouts, I could see there being concerns here. And blue is... Blue and double blacksmith like the old days. Wow, faster upgrades. That's some smart thinking right there. Okay, so... The reason I say like the old days is because at this stage of the game, normally what you'd probably see is you just see them queue up another upgrade. Like, that wasn't possible back in the day. You wouldn't be able to get scale barding and then also click forging. You'd have to wait for your upgrade to finish. And then, oh my god, look at these stables. You have to wait for your upgrade to finish. Then go back to your blacksmith, then click it. So, blue is just ready. Ready for production of scouts. Ready for anything, apparently. I don't think blue truly understands what does what in this game. Blue is just getting upgrades. And keeping the town center working as well, to be fair. So that's really good. It all really depends on what red's going to do with this, though. Because red being in Castle Age first could mean an awful lot here. If crossbow and bodkin come in, they'll be very strong. And then, I don't know why we see red over here on this gold. A red could add multiple town centers to boom. Red could also drop a castle, offensively or defensively. Timing here is everything. Blue's just like, I'm not really sure what everything does. So let's just get every upgrade. Every single Feudal Age upgrade is now in from the blacksmith. It's honestly not a bad approach. I think you learn a little bit less about the game if you just go this direction, but you might have better results if you play the way Blue's playing. But again, in general, wait to get upgrades and wait to get units unless you're going to use them immediately. That would be my advice for any low elo legends out there. Okay, so red is going to town center this gold. Red's now sending villagers to the middle. Red wants to drop a castle. I really like that castle spot. Right in the middle of the map. Protects these buildings. Also protects the relic and the gold. That's huge. Blue is still making scouts. Red is getting bodkin. Red is getting crossbow. So yeah, blue is kind of making an AI army. Doesn't really understand what does what. But let's just get upgrades and let's just make a lot of it. Better get all the upgrades than none. Yeah, of course. It's better to get all the upgrades than none. But I think in terms of importance, it's also really, really nice as we see multiple monasteries for red to make sure you get Castle Age. Because Castle Age units, like a knight, for example, is just so much stronger than a scout. And there's a lot you can do in Castle Age. See, a university for red. Refreshing the lumber camp? Wow, okay, I like it. Red knows some stuff. Producing out of 2 TCs. Blue is still stuck in Feudal Age, but does have the Vil lead for now. This is not something blue can contest anymore. See what I mean? 28 minutes, hasn't used the units. It's something that blue's going to have to learn. And we have early chemistry. Now, guys, people asked me on YouTube to show a game where we saw chemistry being utilized in Castle Age. A couple people said they've been seeing it all the time at mid to low elo, and they feel like it's really hard to stop. And if that was you commenting, Blue, yes, Castle Age units in general will be very hard to stop if you're in Feudal Age. I don't really think hand cannons in Castle Age is that strong. Chemistry is expensive. It takes time. But the thing is, if you're not doing any damage, I guess, if you're not taking control, then you're going to have some problems. And this is some great map control for red right now. Blue is running over here with his scouts now. Now, blue knew about the ranges. So blue's like, let's see what's going on. We now have one of these fancy wagons, the Hussite wagon. All right. Here go the scouts. Now they're regretting this. Maybe they need more numbers or something. I'm not sure. Would really like to see blue go Castle Age. Because the longer blue stays on 1 TC and the longer red is on 2 TCs, the better off red is looking. Red is also producing out of both of them. Blue is trying to be sneaky. Now, this would make sense for Arabia. You can use your mobility and be sneaky, but there's stone walls here, so not really sure why blue is being so sneaky. Here come the scouts. And now blue's probably like, no. I think blue wanted to surprise the army. And blue's making more stone walls. It's the onion strategy. Oh, geez. Yeah, you just cannot win this. Double castle. And so poor blue wasted 15 minutes to make these scouts, and then they all died just like that. I really struggle to see how blue's going to have the confidence to do this now. Also, just the units, right? I think as Tatars, you'd probably make like skirmishers and cav archers. But I think it's going to be really difficult to have the proper units. And red sees this as the moment to counterattack. Red is just click the tower, and that'll actually go down pretty quickly. To chemistry crossbows, plus the wagons, it'll go down pretty quickly. Feudal Age towers only have 700 HP. And blue... It's funny, I thought blue was the better player. I really did. I thought blue was the better player, but blue made all those Feudal Age units and got all those upgrades. Hundreds upon hundreds of resources put into the upgrades and the units that really just don't mean anything. But blue didn't know that. So that's what's dangerous about that logic, right? Because you're just like, well, it's kind of backwards because you think, well, the only way that I have a chance is if I get all the upgrades and make a lot of units because I don't know what does what. But then you find yourself in these situations. So I think the best way to learn is maybe commit towards one unit, look at the tech tree, commit towards one unit, upgrade it, and of course get to Castle Age. It really is interesting how blue likes to go for the base layout here. The double blacksmith, the houses are all organized. Triple barracks now. Blue making more man-at-arms. I mean, the unit production's good. The eco's good. It's just clear to me that blue maybe doesn't have a lot of experience. Meanwhile, red has 29 on gold. And red is going all in with military. There's no way that castle goes up. That is, if red attacks the villagers, I do not see how this castle goes up for blue. But that is a lot of men-at-arms. I've never seen men-at-arms attack Bohemian crossbows with chemistry. Or the wagons before. So it's going to buy time at least. And red doesn't seem to have the confidence to micro this. And red's going to back away. Red's approach is very arena-esque for 700 elo. Would you guys agree? I wouldn't say is as good as blue with economy and upgrades, but just seems to really like map control. And I also, that scout thing was fascinating. I kind of need to see another game from red to see if red does that with the scout every game. That was really interesting. Blue gets the castle up and is now going for silk armor. We see the wood and the farm upgrade and longsword coming in. So blue knows about upgrades. The red just says, that's cute. I'm going to go up to the Imperial Age now. Is there a chance for blue to stay alive in this game? We see another town center. It is 55 villagers versus 54. Feel like you would need to have all the armor upgrades on your light cav combined with silk armor to really have a chance to be able... Actually, they're just scouts, right? So they'd need to be light cav. But what blue's going to need is enough army to be able to take out the trebs, which isn't completely out of the question with the amount of food that's there. Keep in mind, red does have all 5 relics sitting there. Plenty of monks as well. And now we see 2 hand cannons. Okay. Interesting. Villager gets converted. He's going to go down to the longswords now. And blue does seem really hesitant to push out. And blue, I think in a moment, is going to remember there's upgrades out of the stable. But for now, has forgotten that. Red still just a minute away from the Imperial Age. So much gold eco, though. So much gold eco. Really needs to be making more crossbows and more wagons, because wood and gold is really the only resource that red is bringing in consistently. And red won't have the resources to get bracer. Red won't have the resources to get arbalest. Not even the resources to make that many hand cannons. I honestly feel like silk armor light cav, granted, they're not going to be able to push castles, which is the real sucky thing. But I think they could take semi-decent fights. Red is getting murder holes just in case. T90, do knights counter the wagons? So I had a lot of people on YouTube say that you should make... That the counter to the cav is... Or sorry, the counter to the wagons is cav, like knights and light cav. And they do decent damage. But guys, the problem is, at a higher level, Bohemians have amazing monks. So if you start sending knights in after these things, at a high level, where players can manage everything right, they're going to convert your knights. And then, even without the monks, they also have a spearman line that does additional bonus damage. So, like, wagon and halberdier would be very difficult to stop. We'll see. Light cav Mangonel. Yeah, Mangonels, again, could get converted by monks. And Mangonels, you need, I think, 3 hits directly to a wagon to kill it. And they can just roll away from you. So it's really tricky. It's really, really tricky. Blue made 1 step lancer. We've got... Oh! We've got the 2 commanders. And we've got the normal warriors. Look at this. And the 2 people in charge are discussing the strategy. Oh, should we use split formation or spread formation? What should we do? Well, we've got 1 weakling in there. He needs to stay in the middle of the pack. Do we have more men, sir? Yes, we have the resources for it, but for some reason, the king won't send them to us. Come on, Blue. That's your prompt. Blue, you've got to make more stuff here. Okay, Blue does have the Vil lead. Red making a lot of monks right now. Like, this is a crazy army. Look at the value. That is a very expensive army. I think just the wagons and the crossbows would be good enough, but Okay, blue just bought 500 wood for some reason. Or red did, sorry. I'm like really dehydrated today, and for some reason my brain isn't working with colors. But I don't know why that wood was needed. Blue doesn't seem to be really freaked out by this. Oh, here we go. Now we've got some knights. I mean, they will have full blacksmith upgrades for Castle Age. Coinage! No! Oh, that awkward moment when you research everything and you research coinage. Oh, God. So, guys, coinage, as we see another university, just like the 2 blacksmith strategy. Coinage makes it so when you send resources to an ally, there's less tax. And in case you haven't noticed, blue does not have any allies here. So that's actually a waste of resources. Blue is just getting all the techs. We got fortified wall. We'll get treadmill crane. Fortified wall is at least relevant here. I guess you could say the same about treadmill crane. The red now has elite Hussite wagon. These things have 250 HP, 20 attack. Kind of low firing speed. But I mean, this cannot be killed. It's just so much HP. The wagons themselves have 5,000 HP. There's just no way. Blue has Castle Age units. Is under a lot of pressure now and doesn't have any of the relics. Does have a slightly better eco, but arena is mainly about position. And of course, if red were to also monk micro perfectly, there would be 12 conversions. So blue hasn't really reacted to this just yet. We see another castle in the back with 1 villager. Someone had mentioned that blue must have played StarCraft. I'm not hugely experienced in StarCraft, but I kind of get those vibes as well. Make a lot of units, make a lot of production buildings, position them in one spot. Bodkin arrow. And blue has the resources to go up to Imp. Hasn't clicked it. Red is just attacking the gate right now. Blue is now on the way to Imp with this town center. So that'll take 3 minutes. So if red decides to back off, maybe there's a chance you can go for Hussar or something. Silk armor being in means that the light cav is pretty strong. But it's still just not a strong enough unit to deal with this very diverse, very strong comp. Also credit to red. Did end up getting Arbalest. Did end up getting all the blacksmith upgrades except the final armor on the archers. Red has made a lot of military here. This is the Bohemian nightmare. I don't think this can be stopped. Poor blue is getting masonry now, and here we go. We have the knight and the step lancer leading the way. Looks like that was even a patrol from blue. So yeah, I think blue might have some, maybe it was an attack move, maybe some experience, but look just how long it takes to kill 1 wagon. Heated shot! No! Heated shot. Heated shot also doesn't help here, but it really looks like it should. To be fair, it really looks like it should. Looks like it's chemistry, but heated shot just increases the amount of damage you do against ships with your towers and castles, and there's no water here, so... And blue's still on the way to Imp, but blue calls it GG. Okay, I need to watch a red recorded game. Are you guys down? What red did with the scout in Dark Age was way too specific for it to be a chance. I'm just going to review what red did here, okay? Watch this. Okay, bear with me. All right, so we're going to have to find out if red continues to do this. This is a 700 elo player named Zor. Name actually rings a bell for me. So typically on Arena, what you do with your scout is you find all your resources, you push in your deer, you then use the scout for map control and scouting, okay? Simple stuff, right? Watch this. So here's Red's scout. We're going to follow Red's journey. We're still a little early on in the game. Scouting around. Still scouting, still scouting. All this makes sense. Okay. Scout goes forward. Now, Red is looking for the enemy. Red will find the enemy. Okay. Red will eventually find the enemy. Okay. Red will find the enemy. Yes, we'll find the enemy, see the walls, think, okay, those are walls, and normally you run away. Red starts to attack blue's gate. Now, blue naturally says that's not cool and comes over here and starts to chase and gets a lead on Red's scout. Now, I think, as blue doesn't fall for it the first time, I believe Red is trying to tempt blue into his base. Watch. He went immediately back to the gate, started attacking it again. Blue's like, what is wrong with this person? Right? Blue's like, okay, I'm going to chase this down. That's fine. And here we have round 2. Now, at this point, Blue's trying to do some different things with the economy. The boar's about to finish up. This game is stressful. So, Blue falls for the trap. And if Red wouldn't have made a mistake there, Red would have killed Blue's scout and Red would have still had a scout. So, I want to see, as that was all very specific, if Red does that every single time on Arena. Okay? Let's see. Zor. And maybe if Zor's playing another game, I'll hop in. Let's see. No, it doesn't look like it.